Thank you, guys. Thank you. And welcome to the Chris Gethard Show. We're very happy to be here this week on Halloween week. Things will get dark, very much so, as my prediction. I just wanted to say before we start, a lot of people who watch this show got mad at us last week, but I just want to address this right off the bat and say, if you want your comedy to be safe and happy all the time and easy, not the show for you, man. We never made that promise. If you want it easy, go watch CBS and ABC, and you can laugh when the laugh track tells you to laugh, and you can cheer when the applause sign lights up. We do not prescribe to that. We have never claimed that we do. Happy to be here. Happy to start on an aggressive note, but I just wanted to own that because people got mad at us, but then Drew, that got us mad at them.
Really mad.
Really mad. There were many angry texts sent about. We have never claimed to be nice. It's never been our thing. We have episodes that are mean literally all the time. Anyway, let's get another one going. Right, LC? LLC, we put out word it's a semi-Halloween episode. Some people dressed up. Hallie, you have a scary mask.
Yeah, and it has a light show. Oh wait, the light show stopped.
It was on though a minute ago.
Was it on when I was singing?
It was. It looked good. Yeah. And Johnny, you're doing, is that just a hoodie or are you doing like a Unabomber type thing? Unabomber, nice, to fit the serial killer theme tonight. Got many people. My good friend making his second appearance on the show, Dave Bloveband. You're just dressed nice.
Dressed nice.
That's good.
I came from a show that I had to dress this way. So.
You look great.
Thank you.
I'm dressing, my costume is I'm one of these assholes. And of course, Murph here, as always. Murph, you've got, what are you going for tonight?
This is just the handiwork of Emma Noble, moments before the show.
Emma
Daddy laid hands on me. Daddy laid hands on me and put a nice little...
Emma has lately been referring to herself as Daddy, and I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Bethany, welcome back to the show. No costume.
Nah.
Not your thing.
I was stellan last year.
You did. You went big last year.
And this year I'm going to sleep. So.
That's fair. That's cool. Mimi on the hoops, as always. Welcome back to the show. How are you feeling? Sick last week. Hooping like a star again. And our friend joining us again, I think your second time on the show, Brooks Wheelan is here. Welcome back, my friend.
Thank you.
It was great to hear from you this week, and always when we touch base. And you're wearing a costume.
I was gonna go as Mimi or Murph, and I decided Murph because I can't hula hoop.
Yeah. So you grew it out. You went with Murph.
Yeah, I just had a beard, and I was like, I gotta do something.
Yeah.
So I did this, and then I forgot I have an acting gig on Monday where I had a beard when I auditioned for that.
You get like 5 days?
Yeah.
Can you grow it in 5 days?
No, it's gonna be bad.
Okay. I feel really
but
bad.
It's worth it for sure.
Well, tonight we wanted to get dark. I don't know about you guys. I haven't talked about anybody. I'm like pretty upset. Hallie can tell you, I obsessively read about crime and murders all the time.
You read that Timothy, what's his name?
I read
Timothy Treadwell?
No, McVeigh.
I read Timothy McVeigh book on our honeymoon. The whole time we were on the beach in Hawaii, he was just like kicking back with this Timothy McVeigh.
It's totally true. We were in Hawaii for 2 weeks. She would go swimming, and I'd sit on the beach under any shade I could find and read about Timothy McVeigh. That was my honeymoon. It's the most relaxed I've been in like 2 years. Anybody else? Fans of criminals? No?
Oh, yeah.
Ben's into it. Murph, you're into it.
Yeah.
Brooks, how do you feel?
I don't know really. Scary movies scare me for sure.
Okay.
But I like outlaws.
You
but
like
I don't know if I
outlaws.
like murderers.
So you like guys on the fringe?
Yeah, I like Jesse James and stuff like that.
Right, okay.
That's cool.
Jesse James got an appreciative whistle. That's good.
But yeah, murderers I don't know as much.
Just to clarify, nobody likes murder.
Yeah, right.
But everybody, but like, I feel like we're just interested in reading.
I don't know. know. Some of them are pretty fucking rad, man. I don't know. Bethany, how do you feel about murderers? People who murder. Sometimes for sport or pleasure.
I gotta say, I'm compassionate toward most people, including murderers, but I'm really scared. Like, I read for 10 minutes about murderers before I walked over here from Starbucks, and I thought like 5 people were gonna attack me.
Yeah, the Starbucks
I
murderer.
put on my hood and just like jogged.
So my girlfriend is very scared of New York, but all she watches is Law and Order SVU. So I'm like, well, fucking stop. And then it's safer.
Tonight, I want to find out who's the best serial killer. I want to hear from you guys. Call us up 212-757-1393. I'm sure we all have our own opinions. Let's get into it. Before we even take the calls, what do you guys think makes a good serial killer? There's a lot of ways. It's very subjective, but there's a lot of metrics on this. Is it the amount killed? Is it the personal flair? Is it?
I think it's a flair. My favorite serial killer is the dude who, the Devil in the White City, that book.
Okay.
H.H. Holmes.
H.H. Holmes.
You're
he
going
built
historical.
a murder house.
He did build a murder
I like
house.
a murder house.
And that book is that is a real thing he did. Anybody doesn't know he had like fake chutes where you'd fall down into cages and then he'd come kill you later.
Gas chambers.
Yeah.
Would sell their skeletons to medical schools in the Midwest.
So he's also a businessman. H.H. Holmes, an early front runner.
He's also apparently very charming, which is something a lot of serial killers have that quality.
I do like that he revolved the whole thing around the World's Fair as well, that he used a worldwide event to lure people in to kill, to murder people. I like that. H.H. Holmes, he's a good one.
Yeah, he's great. He also used a different crew of builders every time. Like he would hire one crew to build this house.
Like he'd be like, you guys are building this fucking meat locker human size.
And then he'd fire them, and he would let nobody see the final plans, and he would just constantly get.
Yeah, he'd be like, I want this room to be like airtight, safe. And they're like, why? He's like, you're fired.
You're fired.
New people. This is a safe. This is a big safe. Okay.
Yeah, for all my money.
Put a door on it.
Now I will say this. Here's my one knock on H.H. Holmes. I don't believe he was referred to as the devil in the White City in his time. H.H. Holmes, as far as serial killers go, that's a whack name. There's many cooler serial killer names than H.H. Holmes.
And he made it up.
He
It's
did.
not his real name.
That's not his real name? Well, if his real name isn't like the fucking Night Falcon, then it's not a great serial
His
killer.
real name is way dorkier.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know it?
Straight up. Herman Webster Mudgett.
Herman Webster Mudgett. Dave Loveman loves a good serial killer. I think we're starting to see. So Brooks votes flair. He likes the elaborateness of Holmes. Murph, what do you think? Is it flair? Is it historical impact? Is it cultural impact?
A cultural.
You go
I
cultural.
definitely go cultural, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, which is unfair maybe to HH. I mean, I feel like if, or
Fuck off, man.
I feel like if, TMZ existed in that time, they would have sensationalized that a little bit more. So it's unfair maybe to current people.
Okay.
Manson, I feel, is definitely my favorite.
You're
for
going
cultural
Manson.
impact. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, if you agree, disagree, call up, let Murph know. Manson didn't actually kill
He
anybody.
was not a serial killer, definitely.
No. He
Ordered
told other
many
people
killings.
to-
He thought he killed a guy, but
Yeah.
that guy lived and testified against him.
Right.
That guy, no,
That's the worst serial killer ever. Bryce Shaw killed some people. He didn't kill me. He tried though.
Noah
Okay.
Foreman is going to be fact checking. Can we look up the name? The guy it was like a very 70s pimpish name. The guy he thought he killed was like Sugar Bones or something like that. The guy he tried to kill had a crazy street name. I'll also say, here's my knock on Manson though, is at the end of the day, he just wanted to be a famous musician.
Yeah.
That was his sole goal, was to try to break in.
His brain operates on another level. I feel like he was also, if anyone is familiar with the Geraldo interviews with Manson, watch those on YouTube. It's fucking fascinating.
really
Geraldo,
great.
at the end of watching that, Geraldo comes across as the fucking lunatic asshole.
Really? Yes. I gotta watch these
Geraldo's
immediately.
much more.
I will say, I just read a biography of Manson. It was great. And one of the Beach Boys, he befriended Dennis Wilson from the Beach Boys, drummer from the Beach Boys. And there is a quote where Dennis Wilson claims that he was once in a dance club with Charles Manson, and Charles Manson was so charismatic that he physically saw electric sparks coming out of his body. He claims that he actually did that. So I give him credit there. All right, should we go to the phones? We'll hold back the rest of our opinions later. Let's go. Let's go to line 2, Steve in Pittsburgh. Welcome back to the show, Steve in Pittsburgh. You got opinions, serial killers. What makes a good serial killer? Who's your favorite one?
I really don't have a favorite because, I mean, that's kind of like a little bit too dark for me. But the one serial killer that comes to mind that I remember hearing a lot about as a kid from watching like America's Most Wanted in Lifetime because
Okay, who
I
is it?
didn't have a social life on Saturday nights as a teen, I guess, was like the BTK killer.
BTK.
yeah.
Dennis Rader, BTK.
yeah.
Now,
Mind
Brooks,
torture
you're a
killer.
man in the Midwest. He strikes me as a Midwestern
I
nightmare.
don't know this guy.
Dude,
Oh man.
Then
no
you
one
set-
look it up.
You set this up to win. You know everything. It's like me talking about yo-yos in the 1990s. Like, oh yeah, that's good. A butterfly. Yeah.
BTK. His nickname, great nickname. If we're going by nicknames, he smokes H.H. Holmes. BTK, bind, torture, kill.
And he does it all in hipster glasses.
He did. And he also, here's another aspect where I think he was baller. He went off the grid. He stopped
He stopped for like
20
years,
years
yeah.
or something.
Really?
And
Yeah,
then
they
a
only
news-
caught him like a few years ago.
yeah, and then a newspaper article came out that was like, I guess that guy lost his fucking swag, and he was like, oh, word? Let me get back to binding, torturing, and killing again.
I also respect though someone because that's interesting to me that he was able to stop because who was the dude in upstate New York? An S. He killed a couple kids. Then he went to jail. No, not Albert Fish. This is not
Albert
old
Fish
school.
is one
Albert
of
Fish
my
is a whole nother.
He's top three. He's my
There's
top
a dude
three.
in upstate New York. I forget his name. Swath something. No, can you look that up? Anyway, this dude killed
Swath, upstate New York.
upstate New York serial killer. This guy killed 2 children and then
You upstatey.
Yeah, upstate.
Upstater.
Upstater, yeah. And went to jail for 14 years, and then the moment he got out, he went on a spree and killed 12 prostitutes. So he was sitting in prison for 14 years being like, as soon as I fucking get out of
No,
here,
you
I'm gonna
just
start
played
killing
Grand Theft Auto.
That is true.
My favorite
All
thing
of
is
his car.
I love how Ted Kaczynski got caught.
Yeah.
He like published that thing in the newspaper, and then
Manifesto.
his brother was like, "Ah, it's my brother. I know this. This is
Yeah,
definitely Ted."
that is a lame way to get caught.
Yeah.
That is a lame way to go out.
Yeah, but he's got like the best starting story.
Yeah.
He was like a super genius.
A
at
Harvard educated, Harvard
and then
educated,
they put him through a psychological experiment in this class that was like super fringe,
like a CIA LSD experiment.
and he was the only one to like lose it, and that's what caused him to go off and start
Yeah.
Harvard.
You make a, it's really easy to turn a genius into a maniac.
Yeah.
Very easily, it just went wrong.
What's
A
that?
superhero could have been built the same way.
Yeah.
That's true. Very true. The rare pearl of wisdom from Bill Florio. A chilling look at good
I
versus
have a lot
evil.
to say about the subject.
Jump in whenever you want.
Richard Kuklinski,
Richard Kuklinski. Let's talk
Yeah.
Kuklinski.
New Jersey. He killed for fun and money.
He's the guy who killed the fashion designer, right?
What? No, I don't think
Didn't he kill Versace or something?
No. That guy was
He in the
Andrew-
book he.
Oh, that was Andrew.
Cuomo?
Not Cuomo. Andrew Cuomo was the governor of New York.
You heard it here first.
Kunani.
He did a real
Andrew
180.
claims to kill.
Spread word. Well, you're on Eminem to tell you.
He claimed to kill a lot more people than he
Killed
He claimed to kill like the big Don and stuff like that, but it's not
Oh,
true.
yeah.
But he said that he buried Jimmy Hoffa and things like that. But
Oh, he's
but,
the
like,
Iceman.
Yeah,
The
the Iceman.
Yeah.
But he killed like lots of people no matter what.
Yeah. I once
And
wrote an
kept a
article.
family. His family didn't really know.
Yeah. I wrote an article about him for Weird New Jersey, and he read it.
Whoa.
Yeah. Like a prison guard wrote us and was like, we gave him a copy of the magazine you wrote about him. He was into it.
Oh yeah.
Like, he was real into it. It was pretty fucked up.
Oh yeah, Gethard, you're getting it right, baby. Oh yeah, Gethard.
Is he hooked up with that other serial killer that drove the ice cream truck? Like he found him in the middle of the night, and then they like plotted
They made
together,
out?
and they like traded secrets. And stuff
Yeah,
like
he
that.
became. That's why he froze his bodies, because he befriended other serial killers. So we got a lot of serial killers flying around. There's a cat. You got some stuff to tell us? Who are you filling us in about?
I'm just going to catch up on some of the details
Okay.
requested. The guy's name, the 70s Manson guy, is that Danny DiCarlo you're looking for?
I don't.
He testified against Manson, but was part
Oh
of the
no
family.
no! This guy was called like Sugar Bones.
Okay, 0 for 1. 0 for 1. 0 for 1. Oh, and the guy from Poughkeepsie is Kendall Francois.
Kendall Francois. That's a great serial killer name.
That's not the guy I was talking about.
That's not even the guy Murph was thinking about. So many
All right, so I'm
serial
gonna go back to do some more research. Hopefully, I'll get more. I'll get one
Let
right
us
next
know,
time.
because the caller, Steve from Pittsburgh, brought up BTK, so get some BTK facts.
Well,
Because
what do
he
you want
is
to
a
know about
fucking.
BTK? Killed 10 people. That's not very much for a
There's
serial killer.
there's a real shitty documentary about a guy that was like survived BTK.
Whoa, man.
It was he was a kid and he came home to find his family murdered. And now this guy's like in a fucking death metal band. And he's like addicted to drugs.
So BTK killed his whole family and he started a death metal band?
Yeah, well, he was 12 at the time of his family. He got
Heidi,
into foster
Zayn.
homes.
Let's track this guy down.
He got like
Heidi shaking your head no. Kiri's ambivalent. Zane's super into it. We gotta get this man.
Who killed the most? Who's the serial killer who's killed the most?
A guy,
people?
Noah looked it up. He's a guy in Colombia. But then, you want to hear this? A guy in America named Charles Cullen, they call him the Angel of Death, killed 400 people, he grew up in my hometown, 2 blocks from where my mom was born.
Wow. How did he kill 400 people?
He was a nurse, and he was super into killing,
people,
so he became a nurse, and he was just like, let me just fucking pump up the drugs, just kill you.
It's not a tough murder at all.
This is the weirdest conversation ever.
400 people, though.
Yeah, but I like a little physical
You like a little
activity.
gore. You
Not
like a
gore,
bloody.
but I'm like, there's a little bit of a pussy over there, you know.
Charles Cullen, you're calling a man who murdered 400 people a pussy.
He's just a knob turner.
He peacefully laid to rest.
But this wasn't a euthanasia thing. Like, he got off on it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for sure. He knew what he was doing, but I mean, he just could have also been like, I'm bad at my job.
I'll say this. Before the show, I actually wanted to go to bat for Charles Cullen. 400 people. He's from Kling Street, West Orange, New Jersey, man, in my neighborhood. I like that part. Let's go back to the...
Luis Alfredo Garavito Cubitos.
That's the Colombian
It's a
dude.
long
The Beast.
name. How many people are we
Beast,
talking?
yeah.
147, young boys. Raped,
good.
tortured, and murdered.
147 kids.
Only 138 confirmed, and I would beg the question, do you think the rest are true, or is he just trying to brag?
Just fronting.
Orlando's yelling stuff about this.
There's another one who's like on parole and like is free like to live in Colombia now.
Oh, I love a good freed serial killer. JD likes that Japanese dude who ate people. That guy's rad. That guy's rad. Let's go back to the phones. Let's go to Nick in Connecticut, line 3. Who is your favorite serial killer? Convince us here, Nick.
Hi, I'm Nick. My favorite, I don't have a favorite, I guess.
Mike T, hold on 1 second, Nick, and you're going to stay on the line. Mike T is our phone screener. He's great. This is the second call out of 2 where someone said, I don't have a favorite. You're being too nice. If they don't have a favorite, you hang up on him, Mike. No offense, Nick, but we need the cold-blooded people to have this conversation
Well,
tonight.
how about, like Ian Brady?
Ian Brady, who's okay? Is that the British guy?
Yeah.
The Moors murderer.
Yeah, he beat a kid to death with an axe.
Oh, yeah, he and his wife.
His girlfriend.
His girlfriend, yeah.
Myra Handley, I think her name was.
Yeah.
All of this.
Yeah, he was pretty intense.
You sleep in a bed with me.
You're like, oh yeah, you know their girlfriend's name.
In Manchester, late 70s, they used to like, they were freaky. They only killed 3 or 4 kids. But they would get
He
these
really,
kids.
he really messed him up, though.
What's that?
He really messed him up.
Talk us through it. I'll let you talk us through this, Nick, because I know the story.
No, he
The
just-
Smiths
he
wrote a
just-
song about it.
What?
The Smiths wrote a song about this guy, suffering
Who
little
did?
children. The
Oh,
Smiths.
the Morrissey man, yeah.
Yeah, Morrissey Man. Morrissey Man wrote a song about this, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Nick, walk us through this. Sell us on it. You're bringing him up. Maybe at the end of the show, we'll say Nick from Connecticut was right. The Moors murderers were the guys.
Yeah, in like the mid-'60s, he invited a kid to his house, and he wanted to give him candy or something, and then he beat him to death with an axe.
That's the abridged. I want to give him candy and beat him to death.
That is the log line. And they would lead them out into these swamps in Manchester. They'd be like, hey, little boy, come with us.
Yeah.
Lead them out into the swamps and then kill them.
The Moors,
Yeah, he has a book of his writings on some Feral House or something like that.
On what?
Feral House?
What's that?
It's a book.
Like a
what do they
publishing
call
company?
it? A book publishing company.
Have you read it?
No.
Okay. So Nick, yeah, that's a good one. You bring up a good one. I think it's in the running. You don't even seem that enthusiastic.
No. I mean, I'm not proud of what, I don't like what he did. But,
to each his own, I guess.
What?
I just made a crash joke. It was horrible.
Oh. I mean, the Unabomber is obviously pretty impressive because he was anonymous for like 15 years.
Another vote for the Unabomber. I will also say this. The police sketches of the Unabomber pre-caught are the coolest thing in the entire world.
Are they close?
It's like
it's him with the hood.
It's a guy in a hoodie with aviator sunglasses on, just hunched over.
How is
looking
that?
like
How is that no one's cover art for their album?
Yeah, that's true.
That's a cool album cover.
That is true. Someone needs to get on that. Maybe that guy.
Yeah.
Maybe that guy from that death metal band.
I remember my dad showing me the poster of the Unabomber, and he said, "You see this? This is scary." And that's it.
How old were you?
5.
Why did your dad do that?
He's a scary guy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will keep this conversation going. If you have a favorite serial killer, call us up, convince us. We haven't even gotten to all the great ones yet. Right now, one of the great ones returning to the show, our old friends. This is their vinyl, Super Horror Castle Land. They have a show this Friday, Staten Island, the coolest borough, at the # bar. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back our old friends, Ghost and Goblin. Woo!
of cloth and thoughts of schemes all the while. In our lonely eyes you split among the hypothesize and hypnotize. Nothing seems to be wasted on you. Nothing seems to be wasted on you. You'd better be aware, or pieces of it will get caught up in your hair, and that's a drag. Winding through the room, all signs of life and signs of doom. You're in bloom. Nothing seems to be wasted on you. Nothing seems to be wasted on you.
gentlemen, Friday night, Staten Island, #bar. Excuse me, ladies. I'm going to go ahead and call an audible here. I'm trying to think of how to push this conversation into overdrive. I think we're having fun so far. I know me and Dave definitely are.
I'm in. I was watching the World Series game earlier.
You were?
Yeah.
Who's winning? Do we know? Chris?
Giants just won.
Giants just won. All right. That's the first time you've ever answered a question on time. San Francisco.
Now I'm focused.
Yeah, that's good. I'm going to say this, and this is a disaster in the making. I want to get calls. By all means, let us know if you have your favorite serial killer. You want to keep going. I love this conversation. I'm going to also up the ante. Please, if you have ever taken human life, call us right now. I want to hear about it.
Wow.
Accidental on purpose. If you are a murderer and you're on the lam, just be anonymous. We won't out you. This isn't a sting. I promise you that. Human life takers, call us up, 212-757-1393. We're the people who are here to listen. Let's do it. Now, in the meantime, we've got this guy on the show. I'm a big fan of his. And I told him he's a comedian around New York City. He's out there. He's a wild guy. And I told him, anytime you want a minute on the show, you get a minute. Every week you want it. He has not come back, but he's been giving his minute away to different people. So Sepha's minute tonight, I'm so excited. He passed it on to a friend of his. It's a real get for us. He's a hip hop sensation from Transylvania. Please welcome T-Bone, ladies and gentlemen. Transylvanian hip hop sensation T-Bone is here. Sepha's got a minute.
Not like the car accident, more like the steak. I like my steak like I like my Tarantino movies. Bloody. So me and this dog went up to a club, and I'm like, girlfriend, I can't eat no garlic mozzarella. Good night, everybody.
T-Bone, the Transylvanian hip-hop sensation. Wow. That's great. T-Bone.
Grill, but also vampire.
I saw that. You got a grill with fangs, T-Bone.
I love it.
Beautiful. And I'm going to assume Sepha's not here because he's home jerking off to you porn. All right. Welcome. All right. Good job, T-Bone. Let's go back to the phones. Let's go to...
Those lyrics were okay if they were freestyled. They were clearly written.
But he's Transylvanian. He's Transylvanian, and English is not his first language.
I loved it.
He's from wherever Transylvania is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go to line 4, Jake in Philadelphia. How are you? Do you have a favorite serial killer? Have you taken human life?
I have not taken human life, but I'm not going to pussyfoot around the issue. I have a favorite serial.
Okay, we're listening. We're listening.
Thanks for not pussyfooting.
Who is
Ted
it?
Bundy.
Ted Bundy. Okay, Bundy, one of the kings. Bundy getting moves from the ladies.
Three reasons.
Jake, talk us through it. Why Bundy? Why are you a Bundy man?
I've got three main reasons.
Okay.
Number one, he spent the first 3 years of his life in Philadelphia. I'm a Philadelphia native and resident.
Local pride?
I get it. I get it.
You get it. So you get it. Growing up in Philly, just like Ted Bundy did, you see where the roots, you see where the seeds were planted.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay, okay.
Number two is that the only thing people know about Ted Bundy is that he's a good-looking guy.
Great looking guy.
Like, that overshadows the fact that he murdered several young women. He's just
And
attractive.
several is being kind to Ted Bundy.
That's true.
Yeah.
But that brings me to my third point is that his statistics are off the chart.
So statistically, like when you get into like a sabermetrics Moneyball style, like walk us through it. I love this guy.
Flip that
huge
card over.
batting
Raise the back.
average. I think like out of American serial killers, he's in the top 3 number-wise.
Okay.
So going back to the beginning of the show when you were talking about, is it personality, is it numbers? Ted Bundy's got it all.
He's got it all.
He's got the flash.
Okay, wait. Hold on, Jake. Bethany's stepping up. She's got some beef with Ted.
I got some beef with Ted. I got a beef with a lot of these white, male, American serial killers.
That is most of
them. And I have a beef with most of them. Is that they're always picking on the ladies.
Pussy is power!
Emma Noble just yelled, pussy is
and I'll
power.
speak to that too. Is that his method? I have no respect. The wounded
No
duck
respect.
routine. Yeah. That's fucking lame.
Oh, he was
Sweet women walking down the
the lambs
street.
type of thing.
Yeah.
So
Come
Bethany,
on,
who's your
Ted.
favorite then? You got a
You're a
problem with?
good-looking man.
Who do you got?
Okay, I like Leonardo Concelli.
Who is
Leonardo.
that?
She's really sweet. She's a family person. She murdered for her son. And then she turned all of her victims into soap and baked with them.
That's rad. Wow, a round of respectful.
She's a homemaker.
A lady killer who baked her victims into soap. I like that.
She killed for her son, so she was
Yeah, why-
scorned.
you know what
Somebody
she-
and
what's
then
that
she
about?
just decided, you
Well-
know what? Since these bodies are laying around, let me make soap and cookies.
That's what she did. And she fed the food and gave the soap to her neighbors.
I do like that you found the serial killer who you would be if you were a serial killer.
Yeah, and the whole reason she did it was because she believed she had to make a human sacrifice so her son didn't die in World War II.
Wow, a World War II era sacrifice. Dave, did you know about this
I
lady?
didn't know about that.
I am
lady.
impressed.
That's pretty
I am
cool.
impressed.
I'm just telling you.
That's awesome. Let's go to
All right.
line one. Julia in New York. Who's your favorite serial killer? Have you taken human life?
I have not taken human life, but I have the best serial killer.
The best. Okay.
Look, Chris, I see your guy who killed 400 people, and I rate you 650.
You're claiming you got a guy who's killed 1,050 people?
Not a guy, a girl.
Yeah.
Let's walk us through
I know who we're
this.
talking
Who is this
I'm
person?
talking about Elizabeth the story.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Hoots, a group of people right in the front who are all like, yes. You guys are, what, Elizabeth who?
Elizabeth the story.
Okay, tell us about her.
Okay, so she was a Hungarian countess in the late 1500s, early 1600s, and she would invite local young girls to come train to be servants at her castle, and then she would mutilate them, burn them, and then bathe in their blood to try to obtain their youth.
To obtain their youth?
Yeah, I just read about this.
She'd bathe in the blood of young people?
Same as
young
Delphine
woman,
Delores.
yes.
too.
She'd like put
And
a
Dick Cheney.
Craigslist ad out.
That's some lizard people shit.
Nobody's ever mentioned Cheney as their favorite.
Wow, that's really badass. But here's my question is, how much of this is legend and how much of this is documented fact? The 1500s thing has me worried that this is overblown.
Well, 650 is the highest cited amount, but it was probably pretty close to that. And there were a lot of records kept about the trial because this was during the witch hunt, and people, but this wasn't really a witch hunt thing because this was real.
And she was royalty, right? So.
Yeah, she was a countess.
I am going to read about her on Wikipedia tonight.
Yeah, she's really, really interesting.
Close up on Hallie, close up on Hallie, close up on Hallie, please. Close up on Hallie, please. All right, that was a great call, Julia. Thank you. That's my favorite one I've learned about tonight by
Did you
far.
know that Trent Reznor recorded the downward spiral inside the house that Sharon Tate was murdered in?
He was the last person to live in that
Yeah,
house
he
before it was
went
knocked down.
in and he recorded that, and then he took the door, and that's still the door that they wrote like Helter Skelter and Pig or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the door to his studio in New Orleans. What a creepy weirdo.
Banana Man, you love Trent Reznor, right?
I love him, but what a fucking weirdo.
No, I think he didn't know it was the house when he first set up
No,
there.
he did not know that?
Did not know that.
He didn't know at
But all
first.
this weird shit started happening while recording that album. They found out.
Okay, I heard that Sharon Tate's sister came up to him and was like, "You're like using this murder in like a way to sell records," and he
Sell your
felt really
goth.
bad. but then he still kept the door.
It's not bad enough.
Yeah,
Like-
I don't. But that's just what I read. I could be wrong. I met him in a Chipotle in Iowa City one time. He was pretty nice.
He's eating at Chipotle.
He's eating at Chipotle. It's in Iowa City. It's the healthiest alternative.
That's awesome. Okay, let's go to. Sorry, Banana Man. Oh, this guy. I'm betting this guy has a good opinion on serial killers because of where he's from. Line 2, Josh in Florida. How are you, Josh?
I'm good. First off, I'm excited to see you at Fest. I just got back from pre-Fest day one, and we had all my friends. We always have Mikey Erg sightings at pre-Fest and Fest. So
Oh, that's awesome. You saw Mikey down. Hallie and I will be down there, and a lot of bands who have played the show are playing Fest in Gainesville this year.
yeah, and
Oof.
a lot of bands
got a
are playing
Gainesville
pre-Fest. And I have to thank you for having such awesome bands because you got me into so many cool bands from the show that I get to see them at pre-Fest and Fest.
Thanks, Zane and Heidi and Kiri, man. It's all them. They know all the cool shit.
Yeah, I saw Shell Shag, and then I took off and came home and, to watch the show.
Shell Shack's the best, my favorite. Now, Josh, do you have a favorite serial killer? I look forward to seeing you in a couple days in Gainesville. Have you taken a human life?
I haven't taken a human life. All right, so the serial killer that piqued my interest, I was looking at the list, and his name is Moses Spithole, and I thought his name was Moses Shithole.
He's my favorite too already. What's this?
He's from South Africa. He was from, I don't know if he's still living or not. He killed 38 people. He was also a jerk to women. He preyed on unemployed women, and he lured them with prostitutes. But the most interesting thing about it is he was sentenced to 2,410 years imprisonment, and he has a non-parole period of 930 years. So he has the prospect of getting parole.
If he is an eternal, immortal being.
But he, speaking of Ted Bundy, he's listed as being known as South Africa's Ted Bundy.
South African Ted Bundy. That's a cool label to have.
Sexy man with a little bit of an accent now.
My mom would be like, so South Africa's married with children. Very cool.
I like the rolling wave as people figured out the reference.
Oh, married with children. It's Al Bundy. Oh, okay.
Josh, great call. Eric in Indiana, have you taken a human life?
Wait,
Who's your
I got
favorite
a
serial
Gainesville
killer?
story.
A Gainesville story.
I got booed off the stage in front of 17,000 people in Gainesville last Friday.
Wait, what venue holds 17,000 people?
It was for their Gator Growl. I was opening for Ludacris. Yeah.
What happened?
It was insane. I went on after Foster the People and fireworks. So it was Foster the People, then fireworks, and then they're like, Brooks, I was supposed to do 15 minutes. And I was like, okay. And then going on, they're like, stall. And I was like, okay. And I got like 3 minutes in, and everyone's just like, nah!
17,000 people
yeah,
booing?
booed off. Absolutely. Yeah, I got out of there.
You did?
Yeah, well, I was like, I'm going to do my time. Because, like, when a crowd's mad at me, I like to make them sad, too. And I'm like, no, we're both being miserable now. So I'm going to do 25. And I was really slowing down and just, like, letting it come in. And a woman who worked there came out and just grabbed me. She goes, you can be done now.
So it was like an Apollo Theater style.
Oh, man, it was brutal. It's nice to know the worst show I'll ever do, though. Like I
Knock on wood.
Yeah,
Holy
it's like
shit.
I have a city that I dislike and they dislike me. So it's fun to have a city I hate, which is Gainesville.
I'm going there this weekend.
Oh, I hate that place.
I hope I get a nicer reception. We're doing a punk rock festival.
That sounds way better than what I did.
Than 17,000 people. Holy shit, man.
Yeah, it was
Did you,
gnarly.
like, because we all bomb, and, you know, I'm at a point where I can let it roll off.
Oh, yeah, I let it roll off, but it took until I left Gainesville.
Really?
To be like, okay, I'm all right. Like, I was like, I got out of there, and I was like in my hotel room, like, they're going to break the door down and kill me.
Holy shit. And
Yeah.
did you run into any people who were like, hey, man?
Oh, everybody thought I was wasted. That's what sucked. Because I'd never performed for 17,000 people.
Yeah, who
and as a
has?
musician, you wear like monitors so you don't hear feedback.
Right.
And so I was telling a joke, and everything I said would happen behind me 1 second later. So it was like telling comedy in a cave to 17,000 people who just want Ludacris. It was the worst.
That is.
Oh, that is
Ludacris yelled out. Nailed it. Good job making the show your own. That was awesome.
Anyway, sorry I had butt in, but I heard
please.
Gainesville, and I was
That's
like,
awesome.
oh, that's my nightmare.
I'm gonna put this guy out here before we forget about him. I'm gonna nominate my number one. But when you think about the amount of terror he spread, personal appearance, the way he fucked with the cops, the way he wrote in codes, and never been caught.
Oh.
Zodiac.
Ice Cube. Yep.
Zodiac is the fucking.
Totally Zodiac, yeah.
Zodiac might be the fucking king, man. People are yelling, he is the king.
I may buy into the multiple.
What's that?
I may buy into the possibility that's more than one person.
more than one Zodiac.
I side with that. I think it's like, I think a lot of times whoever wrote to the San Francisco Chronicle at the time was taking credit for other crimes that he saw in the newspaper that happened. So like there was a woman that said that she got kidnapped by someone that might have been the Zodiac, but she survived. And he was like, it was me. It was me. I did it. And it was like, no, no, man.
He had a cool hood, though.
Yeah.
And he shot people with crossbows.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Is this like the Shakespeare of serial killers where like there's multiple authors and stuff? Like, do they work together?
That's the rumor.
That's the rumor.
Yeah.
I think more likely, I think it's one guy. It's a guy named Arthur Lee Allen. He died before they could prosecute him. They found DNA evidence linking him to several of the crimes, and he died of a heart attack in 1992, a week before he was supposed to be arraigned.
Really?
So
he was like an ex-military guy,
yeah,
right?
He was an ex-military kid. He was he got fired from his teaching job for molesting kids, and then just like apparently went like. He told this like, I got a great idea. I'm gonna be like this serial killer to a fishing buddy on New Year's Eve in the '60s, and then like 4 years later, the murders happened, and someone was like, "Hey, you should check this guy out."
Did you hear they got the guy who was the murderer in the 1880s in London, right?
Jack the Ripper?
Yeah, they like figured out who he was
No
just
way.
recently from DNA evidence.
No way.
Yeah.
Who was he?
It was just some immigrant from like Poland or something.
yeah.
Like he was mentally crazy. Yeah.
They interviewed his great-granddaughter or a relative of his. He had a hole in his dick as a medical anomaly.
Home Alone comes up
It wasn't that guy. Jack the Ripper was not some Polish immigrant. I don't care what fucking DNA evidence you had 100 years later. It was the fucking king.
You on this show
It was the fucking king of England's physician. It was a Freemason conspiracy. Jack the Ripper is not some rich Polish laundromat owner.
Rob, you have not appeared on this show in months, and now you're back furious about a Jack the Ripper accusation.
Because you read this and it's like, oh, DNA evidence proves Jack the Ripper, and then you read it, it's like, no, someone bought it and they put DNA. It's just tabloid bullshit.
How are you, man?
I'm pretty good. How are you? I'm actually really good right now. I've been busy, but I'm sorry. But yeah, it's good to be back.
It's good. You look good.
Thank you. I read about a serial killer a few days ago.
Okay, fill us in.
He's well, I mean, it's tough. His name's Peter Stumpf. Peter Stumpf.
I've read about this guy.
He's a werewolf. The werewolf of Bedburg, which is I think it's interesting. He might have done nothing.
You're reading a Harry Potter book.
No, it's a guy. He probably killed like at least 2 or 3 people, but he confessed to killing like 15 people. And he said that it was because he was doing black magic, but that was after he'd been tortured for a few days. But he probably was a serial killer, and they just didn't know how to, like, accept that a person was doing that type of crime. So they're like, oh, he's a werewolf. And then they made sure that they bludgeoned his head after they buried him and tore all of his skin off and buried him in different spots so he didn't reconstitute as a werewolf. Which I think that's exciting and interesting.
Rob, it is great to see you again. Great to see you again. Let's get a few more. Get a few more calls in. Let's get
one sec.
Yeah.
I really want to do this. You can like go to the island Blackbeard was killed on in North Carolina. I'm throwing out there. If you guys want to go, I want to go camp on that island before it gets too cold.
Now, Brooks, I don't know if you know this. Murph has a long-standing grudge with certain North Carolina. Murph, there's a secret society.
It's Gainesville?
It's my Chapel Hill. Is my
There's a secret society in North Carolina Murph fights with. I like the idea of a buddy cop comedy where you two go and fight pirates in the secret
I
society.
just want to go camp where he died. It's like, I couldn't believe
You can go camping there?
Well, I don't know if you can go camping, but we'll just stay all night. Yeah.
I also will say this, knowing both of you guys, I don't know how well you know each other. You two would be best friends.
Let's do it. I can't ask Murph for this thing. I already like Murph. I look up to him a lot.
He's a good man.
Yeah.
All right, I actually have been told we have a guest.
Hold on a second.
Are you Carl Stephen Howling?
I'm Carl Stephen Howling. Hello, Chris Gethard show audience. Look, I know that there's been a lot of things recently on the show, and we don't know if they're real or if they're fake, and there's a lot of people who get really angry about it, and just want to let you know that right now this is a very real person talking to you right now. My name is Carl Stevens Howling, and I am a werewolf. And I want to express, I know that we talked about werewolves, I want to express a little bit of a warning to all of you kids, a lot of you dressed up in costumes, that when you go out to Halloween, I want you to be scary and be safe. You can contract wereism through anything. That's I personally got it by having sex with a werewolf. It was in the semen and went straight into me, and it turned me into a werewolf. And I just want to warn you all that if you go out and have fun at a Halloween party, make sure before you go home to ask if they are a werewolf, because you don't know who's a werewolf and who's not a werewolf. It only happens once a month. But the signs are there internally all the time. So I just wanted to come out and let you guys know that. Now, if any of you are at all like worried about this or think, honestly, I hope this gets written up in split side or 300 comments on a Facebook thread. Because I tell you what, right now, I want people to get mad about this and spread the word about wereism. You know, that's what I want. That's what I want right now. You can get werewolfism from semen, female ejaculate, blood, saliva. It's not just a bite, people. It's not just a bite.
I just have a quick question.
Yeah.
When you had sex with this werewolf, were they in full wolf mode? Or?
No. They were a normal human being, and they didn't tell me. That's the thing. Anyone can be a carrier, you know? I suggest getting silver condoms. And using them to have sex with the werewolf. Do you have any other questions, Mark?
That answers it.
Okay. All right, that sounds good. Okay, so split-sider, if you're watching, I'm a real human being. Debate it all you want, people. And don't have sex with a werewolf. My name is Carl Stevens Howling.
Carl Stephen Howling. Don't have sex with a werewolf. I want to get to a couple more calls. Let's go to line 4, Joaquin in Texas.
Hello, how's it going?
Hi, have you taken human life, or what? Who's your favorite serial killer?
I haven't taken a human life, but I have sort of like a weird connection, like not a direct connection, but a weird indirect connection to a serial killer.
You have a connection to a serial killer. Okay, we're listening.
Yeah, well, my older sister has a friend who is the niece of, he was called the Night Stalker.
The Night Stalker.
Richard Ramirez.
Heads just shot up. This guy, wait, you gotta turn to camera and do what you just did in the audience for me. Stand up if you don't mind and turn around if you don't mind. I don't want to put you on the spot. You did this when you heard the phrase "the Night Stalker." I just saw that. That was awesome. Okay, so you know someone who's friends of the night or a relative of the Night Stalker. Dave, how do you feel about the Night Stalker?
I don't know much about this guy.
Walk us through Richard Ramirez right here. No, maybe we can call up some Richard Ramirez facts. What do you know, Joaquin in Texas? Do you know much about him?
I don't know much. That's about as much as I know, actually.
Let's get some info up on the Night Stalker, and we'll get Noah up here. Thank you so much for the call. That's cool. Let's go to Jason in Brooklyn. Have you taken human life, or who's your favorite serial killer?
Well, I think I have a weird thing for this. There's one couple serial killer.
Oh, a couple.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A couple serial killer.
They killed together.
What's that?
They killed together.
What was their deal? What are they called?
They were called Gerald and Charlene Lego.
And who did they kill?
they just took, like, what their deal was, they would just take 10 girls, like young couples, like not necessarily couples, but like young girls. They took 10 of them, and they would use them as sex slaves. And then after that, they.
What a weird time for your call to get cut off.
Now that's love.
That is.
That's a good couple.
They had shared interests.
Yeah. When does Tito Santana come out?
Oh no, he was just on the show that one
I
time.
thought he was the guest host.
No, you thought it was like me and these guys and Tito Santana every
all
time.
the time.
I wish he was really fucking cool, right? He was really fucking cool that time he was here. That was awesome. You know who else is really cool is our musical guest tonight, who we all had so much fun dancing to moments ago. Remember Friday, Staten Island #bar. Check him out. Let's get up, let's dance, let's have fun with Ghost and Goblin.
Let's look at the clouds together. Let's look at the clouds. We could run away together. Leave our footprints in the ground. There's a great big crack in the pavement on your best ride home. There's an itch between your shoulders which you can't quite reach alone. And hey, baby, what you doing tonight? 'Cause I feel something when you're in my sight. If you'd stay, that'd be alright. Nothing's wrong while you're by my side. Rain checks can permanently perpetuate your smile, and paychecks can make you happier than ever worth your while. You can't think with all your mojo dripping into a hole. Yeah, baby, let's fuck the system. Dream big and go. And hey, baby, what you doing tonight? 'Cause I feel something when you're in my sight. If you'd stay, that'd be alright. When you're by my side,
Ghost and Goblin, a true pleasure. The only band we've ever had that would bring a homemade golem that sprays fire and smoke. That is the best. All right, we've got 4 minutes left. I've heard about a lot of serial killers. We haven't even heard about the toy box killer yet. Do you know the toy box killer?
No.
Used to trap women in a. I dare any. I'll just put it like this. I dare anyone to Google toy box killer transcript. He used to play this tape for his victims. He trapped them.
Yeah.
You cannot get through the whole thing. It's the most disturbing thing that's, I think, ever been written down. It's fucked up.
We can't end this show.
Comedy. He just told jokes to his victims, like, you can't get through it. It sucks.
Yeah.
All puns.
It's the worst. Okay, Dave.
We can't end this show without talking about my man Albert Fish.
A round of applause for Albert Fish. An old favorite of mine. Dave, we might end the show on this, so sell the people on Albert Fish. Do you know about this guy, Brooks?
Oh, dude.
You're going to like this guy.
Got like a bunch of awesome nicknames. The Werewolf of Wisteria, Vampire of Brooklyn, the Gray Man.
The Gray Man is rad.
That's a rad nickname.
One of those guys was Eddie Murphy.
The Boogeyman, some people say the Boogeyman comes from him, that term. He was caught when he was 70, like in his 70s. He's like, his thing was like, he's a kindly old man. He got, he killed like close to 100 kids between the ages of 5 and 15. And he raped them, he ate them.
He would mail letters to their families explaining how he ate them.
Mm-hmm.
What?
He used to go.
What time is that? Like what
early
years?
30s, like 1930s.
He would go during the Depression.
Yeah.
He'd go
During the Depression.
He'd go to families and he'd say like, "Hey, I run this farm. I can offer you farm work." And he'd buddy up to the
my
families,
house, yeah.
and then he'd be like, "Hey, my niece has a birthday party. You think your kid wants to come to this birthday party?"
They never caught him? How did they not catch?
Because
the 30s,
because
man.
it's the 30s. You
Yeah.
couldn't just fucking leave their
True.
kids
Yeah.
like playing baseball
I've seen
or
Cinderella,
whatever.
man.
He sent one letter to this family. It was actually right on 15th and 9th, like right in the city.
Grace Budd.
Grace Budd, and he sent a letter to her family that was like, "I ate her. Her
I ate
buttocks
her, yeah.
tasted the best.
Yeah.
Don't worry, she died a virgin."
Yeah.
Mr. Fish.
Albert Fish.
Albert. He also, when he died, he broke the electric chair because he inserted needles in his urethra for pleasure. And he broke the electric chair.
Before getting electrocuted, metal in the dick. I think we have a winner. The crowd has chosen a winner. And it is Albert Fish.
I'm so uncomfortable.
You feel uncomfortable?
Oh, I just want to say the thing with last week, Smithgate, was the funniest thing I've seen in like 10 years.
Thank you.
I was honestly dying. I'm bummed it came out as fake.
Me too.
I was really sad.
Splitsider felt bad too when they realized.
But it was so funny. That's what brought me here. I was just texting Chris like, "That's so great. It's amazing." I really think that was the funniest thing I've seen in a very long time.
That means a lot. Thank you so much. Brett Davis, great comedian. Everyone who's a fan of the show would be a fan of Brett. And thank you, and I'm so happy to have you back here. It's always a pleasure.
It's great.
I'm really glad we're friends, and I want to thank Ghost and Goblin. I want to thank all you guys for watching. We'll be back next week with more dumb bullshit. Check it out. It'll be a good time. Woo!